The table is kind of just more complicated because they have so many service departments and so many production departments. But that's what happens in a real hospital. Any questions? Okay, so then we're going to look at how the step method actually operates here. But I just want to tell you, this is the basic allocation. So this whole cost, all the direct costs are in column 1, and the final allocation to the production department, this is this last column. Let's go and see how this works. So we're going to start off with depreciation. And we're going to allocate the depreciation to all the other units. So the question you want to ask yourself is, maybe this unit, this renal dialysis, gets some part of depreciation. That's something you should think about when you outsource. Is it going to help you, or is it going to stay or not stay? Let me ask you this is not giving anything away. Are you going to save any depreciation by outsourcing the renal services?
No.
Okay. So that's the kind of thing you're saying. The strict cost is not going to change. All right. So that's the idea when you go through this. Okay. So let's see how this works, right? So you do this, and you're going to allocate it based on square footage. So you're starting with this, and you're allocating to all the departments. Okay, so look at this first column. This is the allocation of depreciation. Come down here. This number at the bottom of the column is the same as the total depreciation. So you're okay with this? This is the step method. So let me again explain what happened. I took the total depreciation of 2275.
0.68%.
Admin and general got 85,998. Operational plant got 78,990. Okay. Laundry adherent got 35,036. Every service department and every production department got a little bit of this overhead. And this is the allocation of the overhead to all the departments. All right. Now let's go to admin and general. Right? It started off with 6042 of its own cost. Then it got 85,998 from depreciation.
So you're going to have to, I see.
Are you okay with that? That's the first stage allocation.
So
You add that up, you get 6128809. That's the total that has to be now allocated from the second service department. Okay. So we allocate that based on payroll dollars. Yeah? We allocate that based on payroll dollars. What is the total? You can't see it, or you can see it on your page, but can you tell me what the total down this column will have to be? 6128,019, that's exactly it. Yeah? That 6128,019 is the second stage you're going to allocate to all your remaining service and production departments. Nothing goes back to depreciation. This is the step method. Everything is only going forward. Yeah. So now you go to operation of plant, you see what happens. It got something from, it started off with this, it got 78,990, to show you how this column works, from here, and 72,626 from here. You add those two up, you get this 151,616. I just want to make sure that how it is laid out. Yeah? You add up, this is the allocated cost to operation and plant from all the service departments about it. So the depreciation and the depreciation, square footage, and the admin and payroll gives you the 151,616. So that's the total that has come from all the higher departments. So you add that to their own direct cost, you get 177,815. So if you look down the operating plant, all the way down to the bottom, you will see that number again. So it's just scroll down. 177815. And that's it. That's how this table is laid out. Okay? Now, if hospitals generally, I mean, you know, sometimes some of them actually use the reciprocal method. Many of them use the step method. Okay? But as you can see, there is intrinsically, I mean, you just have to be careful and lay it out. And this is the actual catalog. Okay? So each department as you go gets one more overhead. You see here it has 3 overheads. Here it has 4 overheads. Here it has 5 overheads. Yeah?
Well,
Going more and more. Yeah? So you get down finally,
Save this, and then this has to be.
you have done all the departments, and from here onwards, these are all the production departments.
No matter what.
Right? These are all the
Which is
production departments.
redistributed. This aspect is
So from now
redistributed.
on, you just get the overhead allocated,
Each one of these, I think, and say.
and you don't have to do any more steps. So all of these will have their own direct costs, right? They have their own direct costs here, and this is the total allocated cost from all the service departments that gave money. Just want to pause here and see if there's any questions on this table. Let me ask you something. How much cafeteria, so here it is dietary number of meals, right? Dietary costs, dietary overhead. So this is dietary overhead, 773912. So how much of those food did the operating rooms eat?
Where are we at?
Okay, so we're looking at operating rooms.
Oh, okay. No meals.
No meals. Exactly right. That's the point I was trying to make. Yeah, if there's nothing in there, that means they use none of those resources. Okay? So it's spread across in exactly the same way that you will do the allocation. It's because they took no meals, they get no cost from here. But if you look at radiology, they took some food or they gave the patient some food, we don't know. But 15,242 is allocated to radiology
I don't understand these numbers.
from dietary. So that is
Is that if you add all
the
these
thing.
up?
Okay, so now we're
Yes.
looking at 21.
Yeah, add that equals that.
Okay? So if you look at all these numbers, maybe I should ask you, if I add up all these
Right.
numbers across
So
the
this
row,
plus this equals.
what will I get? And this is just a question of understanding the table. Sorry? Which one, whichever line. Let's just look at this line. If I look at the first line and number 14, if I add up all the allocated costs, I will get
4,800,639.
1,620,903.
It's the allocated expense.
1.6.
Oh,
right.
the
Over, right. Okay.
Okay? So let's just make sure that we all understand it.
Completely
It's
different
just
number.
adding up
Yeah.
all this and telling you what the allocated is.
Just maybe that's how the test.
Okay.
Okay, so now
Only off by 75%.
you're looking
You're in the
at
ballpark.
renal dialysis. Right? You're looking at renal dialysis.
Right.
They have direct costs of 1,050,048.
Nowhere in here does it put 125,000.
Right? And they have allocated costs of 277,267.
So those allocated expenses,
Right.
if you get rid of renal dialysis, that still stays, it just goes elsewhere.
I'm sorry?
The 277, 267 still remains, it just goes elsewhere.
Well, that's the question. That's the point of the thing.
Which is why I'm asking.
277 not going in entirely because at least 9471 was dietary meals.
Okay, so this is the point. Okay, so let me leave you here. This is the point that you're doing, just like Bridgeton. Right? You're outsourcing renal dialysis. How much of these overheads are really going to go away and how much are going to stay? Okay, so that's one of the things that you have to think about. Okay? So, to go back in here again, these are two different ways of looking at it. We have those allocated overheads. Let's just look here. This is 277, 267. Go to the next page. Not laid out. Okay, here is the direct cost. So you have to look at a little bit on this. Oh, I guess this is only the direct cost that I looked at here. I'm sorry. I didn't look. Okay. So this is the breakdown. I'm sorry. This is the problem is what they call direct costs. So there are two things here, right?
91%. They had 5,700 treatments, right? Right? They had 5,700
Somebody
treatments.
just read me the number. It was 277.
120 treatments a week, 52 weeks.
267.
60/40, they're at 91%. Yeah, that's right.
So let's go to this case the way it's laid out. Now it turns out that these are direct costs. What they call direct costs are both fixed and variable.
Question is,
Okay. And these are the allocated costs, which I'm sorry they're not in this table. So now it's clear what these allocated costs are in the other table, 277, 267, and the fixed and variable direct costs are in table 2. So what you have to try and do is analyze each of the tables. Okay, you want to think about how much of these costs go away, and how much of these costs go away, or how much remain, even if you outsource. Yeah? All right. So that's step 1. Step 2, you have to ask yourself, what is the real cost of a treatment? What should you look at? Okay? So is it fair to include these allocated costs? Is it not? I mean, there's another issue. But now you've got the cost structure. Direct costs, this includes fixed and variable. Allocated cost, 277, 267, right? And what you want to ask yourself is, what is the real cost per treatment of each person? How much of these allocated costs should be included? And exactly what would happen if you outsource. So these are the two questions you want to look at. Okay. I want to say that here, a couple more points. This 425 is using all the costs.
is that? Yeah.
Okay. So they're using the allocated costs as well as the real costs, the allocated costs, direct costs, everything to come up with 425.
Yeah, I'm totally not getting that.
So the question is that a right measure? Okay, so the guy is arguing this is not the correct measure of a treatment because you're using all these allocated costs, and you should use them in the calculation of what is the cost. So the point of this, let's go back in here. I don't want you to. Okay. I think I would forget about 4 and 5. I would like you to focus. I would like you to focus on 3. Yeah, I'd like you to focus on 3.
I'm a carnivore. I like to
So don't do 1 through 5 or just 3?
Just focus on 3.
1, 2, and
okay?
3.
Fo-
Oh, just 3.
yeah.
3.
So
Yeah,
forget-
focus on 3. That's
Just-
yeah.
Just do 3.
focus on 3.
Okay. Question?
Just
Sorry.
do
Yeah,
3.
I mean, it's just when you're doing this.
Does that
okay,
mean just
you can't really do it
Does that?
What's he asking?
without 1.
Just do.
You can't really do it without one, you have to sort of.
You
tell
sort of
me
have
something
to
about
do
the
1 and 2 to
assumptions.
get to 3.
But
It's just
really, I want you
1
to
3 is
focus on
otherwise
3.
you're focused.
What will happen to the total cost and revenue?
This is gonna help you get to your answer in 3.
What are the options?
I don't like
Let her
that.
spin his wheels for a week.
Like,
You're right, now you're right.
Uh,
Haven't
let's
broken
talk a
one of these
little
yet, I
bit
wanna hear it,
about
right?
the software. I mean, that's basically the number calculation. You outsource. What are you going to lose in revenues? What are you going to save in costs? That's your basic outsourcing analysis. I just want to finish by talking about 4 and 5. What should Dr. Newell do? What should Dr. Lawrence do? Let's talk about that. So Newell is the person who wants to start at the dialysis, okay? And Lawrence is the person, the accountant, if you like, who wants to outsource it. So I just want to finish with a couple of questions. What do you think? I mean, is it, I shall put it like this. What are the other non-financial factors that might be important in something like this? You can do the numbers. You see from a hospital perspective. Suppose they outsource their renal dialysis.
Where would those patients go?
Where were
Right.
those? Okay. So you have to take them to those outpatient centers, I guess. Somebody comes into your hospital and they need a dialysis. You have to now take them to the outpatient center. Do you see any problems with that?
There's additional cost that's not accounted for anyway.
Sorry?
Additional cost that's not accounted for here.
There might be some things like that. But what about more direct in terms of risk?
Insurance. But then on the way there, you're responsible for it, because you're the one reporting it.
Yeah, I just wonder if, those kinds of things matter for hospitals. That somebody comes in and they have a renal failure in your hospital. You have to put them in an ambulance and take them over to some other center. So there is that side of treatment in the hospital. So I think that you should be generous in trying to decide, there are factors in here which you should maybe think about and show at what level. So when you do this, when you talk about the financial consequences, maybe you want to think a little bit also about, what are the risks for a hospital if they get rid of some of their units. Okay. All right. Questions? We're done. What about the other project? Everybody okay with that? Yeah? Tomorrow? Okay. So this one will be due Sunday from next Sunday, 1 week from. Okay?
Is that the 20?
All right.